Hey guys, welcome to Pages with Sidra. Today we are going to start episode 622 of I Have 90 Billion Licking Gold Coins. If you haven't watched the previous chapters, make sure to check them out on my channel. Now, without any delay, let's dive into the chapter. Chapter 1068, Now You Know. How is this possible? Alex's soul nearly flew out of his body in terror. The moment he sensed something was wrong, he immediately ditched his teammates and ran for his life. Now, staring at the blazing inferno left in Chun Yuan's wake, he was completely shaken. This Chun Yuan. How can he be this terrifying? Thank God I ran when I did. I'm already 10 kilometers away. Should be safe now, right? That was close, way too close. His heart was still pounding. He had to return and report this to His Majesty Edward immediately. A superpower like Chun Yuan showing up in Huaxia? Someone capable of turning the tide of a full-scale military operation single-handedly? That was beyond alarming. If this guy finds out I was the one who severely injured Xianyuan Duo, he'll kill me on sight without hesitation. Alex's instincts had saved him. In the chaos of war, things could shift in seconds. Always leave yourself a way out. That's how he'd survived. Thank his cleverness for that. As a Tier 6 warrior, Alex had limited flight capabilities. He moved like a blur across the landscape, faster than a 300 miles per hour sports car, leaving only a faint afterimage in the air. On a battlefield this size, with over 10,000 participants, a single person escaping shouldn't even register. And he'd already made it 10 kilometers out. Wasn't that far enough? Feeling safe, Alex began to slow down, easing his pace. But back in Chun Yuan's earpiece, his satellite-linked headset chirped with a voice. Master, satellite surveillance confirms. The one who injured Xianyuan Duo has fled southwest, 15 kilometers out. It was Wang Kai's voice. Chun Yuan narrowed his eyes. Oh, still trying to run? Thought you could sneak away while I was distracted? My mental scan may only reach 5 kilometers, but my global satellite lock-on covers the whole damn Earth. Where do you think you're going? With a wave of his hand, Chun Yuan summoned his sword and took flight. The distance of 10 kilometers? For him, that was just a few breaths away. F***K. Alex cursed out loud in English, face twisted with fury. Chun Yuan, you lucky bastard. Today you dodged death, but mark my words, I'll be your nightmare. If I can't kill you, I'll send agents to wipe out your family, friends, and every woman you've ever touched. You messed with Alex, and you'll pay the price. He clenched his fists. Today's losses were devastating. Over 10,000 Jin warriors wiped out. 200 plus B-2 bombers destroyed, each worth over $2 billion. Countless tanks, armored units, and military gear, all gone. The damage easily exceeded $1 trillion. Worse yet, if news of this battle leaked, it could disrupt the Earth Alliance's goal of world domination. And just as he vented his rage, a cold voice echoed above his head, in perfect English. Oh, I'd love to see how you plan to become my nightmare. Alex, Vice Speaker of the Skull Society, Director of S.H.I.E.L.D., they say crossing you comes with a price. I wonder if I can afford it. Alex froze. He looked up. There, hovering just overhead, was Chun Yuan. His flawless face, cold and calm as ever. Alex's legs buckled. His insides turned to ice. He had just ranted about murdering Chun Yuan's entire bloodline, and the guy heard every word. He was 20 kilometers out, and Chun Yuan still caught up in the blink of an eye. This wasn't just speed. This was godlike. And my lord, I was just joking. It was a joke. You are unparalleled. Invincible. I am in awe of you. Let me serve at your feet. Please, master, spare this dog's life. I know all of Edward's secrets, his plans, his allies. Alex dropped to his knees in midair, and he even switched to fluent Mandarin in a desperate attempt to survive. Chun Yuan's sword was already raised to strike, but paused. All right then, he said flatly. Tell me, what's Edward's real goal in unifying the planet? Alex hesitated. I can't tell you yet. If I do, will you even let me live? Chun Yuan's eyes narrowed. Trying to bargain with me? Swish. A flash of light. In the next second, Alex's arm hit the ground. He didn't even see the blade move. Aha! My arm. Alex howled in agony, clutching the bleeding stump. He was in utter disbelief. How could Chun Yuan strike so casually, so ruthlessly? Humph. You think I don't already know Edward's little game? I've met Bayushi. She's from the Alien Feather Clan, an elite of the 20th tier. A level 2 cosmic life form, just one step from the 3rd tier. She's also an official of the Universal Bank, and she struck a deal with Edward to collaborate 2 months from now. You really thought I didn't know? Alex was dumbfounded. His eyes went wide. He even knows who Bayushi really is? I didn't even know she was a 20th tier alien from the Feather Clan, or that she worked for the Universal Bank. How does he know this? He knows more than I do. Alex suddenly realized the hopelessness of his situation. He had just tried to use already known intel to buy his life. How laughable. Information only has value when you know it, and others don't. If they already know, it's worthless. Chen Yuan sneered. You think Edward can become ruler of Earth, but I can't. I can make a better deal with Bayushi than he ever could. A mantis stalks the cicada, unaware of the oriole behind. You boys are still playing at amateurs. He raised his sword again, ready to finish the job. Chapter 1069, Empowering Qian Yuan Duo. Chen Yuan launched into a flurry of sword strikes, a brand new technique he'd just mastered, the falling leaf sword art. It was the perfect moment to test it against a newly advanced tier 6 powerhouse like Alex. This sword art wasn't just fancy moves. It was an elite technique passed down through the Qian Yuan family for generations. Every child in the clan trained in it from a young age, often practicing in the woods. The style had just 3 core principles: speed, precision, and lethality. To even reach beginner level, one had to pierce every falling leaf in autumn with a single strike, without letting a single one touch the ground. And since falling leaves never follow a predictable path, every slash needed to be instinctual, ever-changing, but always precise and deadly. With Chen Yuan's monstrous physical control, his speed, strength, reflexes, and fine muscle awareness, he completely surpassed the original wielder of the sword art. In his hands, the skill became something terrifying. 1 second, he drew his sword. The next, he sheathed it. All within 2 heartbeats. Alex stood there frozen. Not a scratch on him, at first. But the very next moment, dozens of fine red lines spread across his body. Then, with a sickening sound, his entire body burst apart, shattered into 108 perfect segments. No. Alex's eyes were wide with disbelief. Even in death, he couldn't accept the reality. He was the Skull Society's second-in-command, a man more respected than the leaders of entire nations. He had just become a tier 6 powerhouse. He was second only to Edward in the Earth Alliance. He had riches, power, 18 mistresses, and his rise to global domination had only just begun. He hadn't even had time to teach that little tramp Tina Morgan a proper lesson. And now he was dead? So bitter. So unfair. If someone like me had sworn loyalty to you, I could have saved you so much trouble. I could have been your greatest asset. Why did you kill me? But he would never get to ask that question. He died with his eyes open in disbelief. Humph. A dog that betrays its master isn't worth keeping, Chen Yuan said coldly. Killing you isn't just for revenge, it's a warning. To honor the fallen heroes of this battlefield, and to tell the whole world, whoever dares challenge Huaxia, no matter how far, they will be destroyed. After settling the score with Alex, Chen Yuan returned to the battlefield. The raging flames were already dying down, visible even to the naked eye. With a wave of his hand, all the fire vanished instantly. It was as if nothing had ever happened, except for the scorched wasteland that remained. Strangely, at the very center of the battlefield, there was a patch of untouched ground. Not even a scorch mark. There, surrounded by debris and ash, Qian Yuan Duo, Dongfang Pe, and a handful of elite 9th Bureau agents had survived by sheer luck. Duo, are you alright? Dongfang Pe called out, rushing over while clutching a bleeding wound. I'm fine, Senior Dongfang. Where's Chen Yuan? She asked weakly. He went after Alex. If we can capture that guy, the Earth Alliance's second-in-command, it'll be a huge win for us. That's good, she managed to say before collapsing. She had held on this long purely through willpower. In truth, her injuries were far worse than anyone had imagined. She had been ambushed by a tier 6 combatant. Her internal organs were almost completely shattered. Any normal person would have died instantly. It was only because she was a tier 5 powerhouse that she was still breathing. Duo, Hey, stay with us. Dongfangpa shouted. Not good. Her meridians are torn, internal organs crushed. She won't last much longer. One of the agents spoke up in panic. We need to get her to a hospital right away. No. Her life force is already fading fast. If we move her now, it could kill her. And besides, no ordinary hospital can treat this. Unless we can convince the legendary medicine ancestor from the Valley of Medicine to intervene personally, she won't survive, Dongfang said gravely. Suddenly, a voice rang out behind them. Leave her to me. Chen Yuan descended from the sky, calm and resolute. He walked up and gently picked up Xianyuan Duoduo. Her once soft and flawless cheeks were now covered in bruises and blood. Cuts and abrasions marked her entire body. 7 ribs were fractured. Her left leg was shattered. Internal organs displaced. Shoulder bone crushed. 2 bullets were still lodged in her flesh. And yet, she hadn't cried out in pain even once. Chen Yuan gently stroked her cheek. Name, Xianyuan Duoduo. Beauty, 98/100 goddess tier. Figure, 97/100 killer curves. Health, 2 out of 100, less than 3 hours to live. Level, tier 5. System, initiate enhancement for Xianyuan Duoduo, Chen Yuan commanded. Ding. Hidden bloodline gene detected. Awakening will cost 100 enhancement points. Activating this gene could trigger a powerful genetic transformation and unknown benefits. Huh. Chen Yuan blinked in surprise. Usually, enhancing someone only costs 10 points. Why did Duoduo's cost 10 times more? If this were earlier, he might have hesitated. After all, 100 points wasn't pocket change. But now, he had money. He had points. He had power. Fine. Sheep or goat, shear them all the same. Spend it. Do it. Continue enhancement. Ding. Enhancement in progress. Enhancement complete. Points used, 100. Points remaining, 1,590. Inside Xianyuan Duoduo's mind, a warm surge of power flowed through her, starting at the crown of her head. It was so comforting, almost intoxicating. Her wounds began healing at a rate visible to the naked eye. Cuts closed. Bones reformed. Organs realigned. The bullets even pushed themselves out of her flesh. But the energy didn't stop there. What remained began fusing into her blood. And in that moment, a long-dormant genetic trait, something ancient and rare, was completely awakened. Suddenly, an overwhelming aura exploded from her body. Everyone nearby was thrown back like leaves in a storm. Even Chen Yuan staggered. The next second, Xianyuan Duoduo rose into the air, completely weightless. A powerful, invisible force, cosmic energy itself, was converging on her. Her entire body began to glow. That's it for today's chapter recap. If you enjoyed the breakdown, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to stay updated with the latest manga, manhwa, and manhwa recaps. Got thoughts on today's chapter? Drop them in the comments. I'd love to hear your take on the story. See you in the next one. Until then, keep turning the pages.